Was that an anomaly based upon past situations or similar earthquakes, or is this something which has been new to our area in the last 5 years?
Yeah, we have not seen previous seismic activity in Youngstown until 2011. You know, we had no recorded historic earthquakes. Although we do get earthquakes that pop off in the state in areas all the time where we haven't had them. One thing we do have is, in the eastern United States, is very long recurrence intervals compared to, say, California between earthquakes, and especially large earthquakes. Large earthquakes can have recurrence intervals of hundreds of years or even thousands of years. For example, the Virginia earthquake, 5.8 magnitude, they had not had any earthquakes above 4 magnitude in that area in historic times. And of course, that's one of the reasons we study earthquakes in Ohio, even these small ones, is we are trying to answer the question, could we have a 6 magnitude earthquake in Ohio? We did have a 5.4 in 1937 in western Ohio. It did a good bit of damage in the town of Anna. But it's been fairly quiet for a long time. So we just don't know. These things could pop off anytime.
I have a question.
Yes.
Now, with the recent activity, you said it was an anomaly. This is something that doesn't normally happen in Youngstown, in the Mahoning Valley. Now, is this, for the scientists here and the experts here, is this alarming to you? Is this something that you would consider as very problematic, somewhat problematic? How do you read this as a scientist? I mean, that's a tough question. I'm wondering, like, scientifically, we're all alarmed because we all felt it. But
yes.
Okay. Well, I'll comment on that. We had the first events on March 17th, and then it was completely quiet until late August. And certainly took notice when we had one on March 17th. But as I mentioned, we get earthquakes that pop off in areas all the time. But when we started seeing the earthquakes occurring in late August and September, October, November, and so on, that obviously indicated something was going on. But that isn't unusual either. In 2006, offshore from Lake County, beneath Lake Erie, we had 14 earthquakes out there in that year.
And recently we had an earthquake in Gallia County, which had no activity, and all of a sudden we had like a 3 magnitude there, which the place was totally unexpected.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the entire state of Ohio, more or less, is under some stress, some compressional stress, and what triggers it or makes it react is something we just don't understand, because it is so deep in the Youngstown area. The geology that we're interested in, the Precambrian, is 9,000 feet deep, and so we have very few samples of what that rock looks like.
After the December 31st quake, was there any aftershocks accompanied with that at all?
No, not at all.
No, we've had virtually quiet since then. You know, we could have, with a 4 magnitude, we could have a considerable stress drop on the fault. And typically, even though the wells shut down, we always say you could have some small earthquakes continuing for a while. But it's my hope that that stress drop from the 4 magnitude would preclude anything but maybe some very small ones occurring in the future. But we don't know. We just can't predict that at all.
Earlier you said that there were half a dozen or so a year. On the website, it looked as though that there were 18 or 20 or so this year.
18 this year.
But you just said there were 14 in Lake County or off Lake County.
2006.
And so the number that we have this year is not outstanding or anything? I mean,
well, it's the most we've ever had. We had a total of 16 in 2006, and now we've had 18 here. 14 of those in 2006 were offshore from Lake County, that general area. So we see these kind of anomalies from time to time.
But the Ohio Seismic Network has been in existence since 1998, 1999. So we have that time frame that we did close monitoring in the state. So it's important also. We're looking at a dozen, 13, 14 years. I think we want to continue